Do it live.
Yeah.
Nice. Thanks, Trevor.
Did you fix his makeup? They never made a phone call. And like yeah.
You sure?
You look good, Ryan?
Yeah. Man, use some makeup.
Smile
Blush.
for your mama.
You're on. Cool.
All right. Well, we just wanted to kind of take a moment to reflect on the year, where we've been, where we want to go, or where we are and where we want to go. So, put together a little PowerPoint on the annual state of the company. So, 2024 overview of our rocks, our revenue target, and our measurables. So we set out to do 3.9 million and we landed at 3.2, largely due to, you know, just our efforts in trying to find our Brennan to fill that third project management role, and we tried 4 times at that, so the 4th time's a charm. We had 4,882 units produced. Our rocks were to get 4 full-time project managers, which we didn't do because we didn't get the 3rd one in time. So Trello, HubSpot, QuickBooks, and Google Workflows approved and integrated. Made progress, but we did not fully feel like we got that completely done. So we marked that not done. 633 leads was the target. We got, I think, right around 593. So missed that by just a little bit. Core processes documented and simplified. We did get the core document process outlines done and have really good traction on that. Integrator vision and visionary meeting pulse. So that's Jeff and I meeting on a regular basis to make sure we're on the same page, which we did get the meeting pulse established. And then the second piece of that was training on the profit and loss statement so that he knows how to better manage. And more or less from a finance perspective, there's some other things in the works that kind of are going to simplify that, the learning of that. So very close, but if we're being honest, I feel like it's not fully done because he's not living in that yet. So well, I want to take a minute to recap some achievements from this last year. So we've got 1 year fully running on EOS with a coach. We've been running on EOS for about 4 years, self-implementing the first 3, and now having Steve come on board to really make us, the goal is 80% strong. So we actually take a quiz at the end of each year, and Jeff, Jason, and I take it kind of independently, and then the average. So when we did that this year, we're 78%, which the EOS world 80% is like the goal, kind of the baseline. I think when we started, we were at like in the 30s, 40s maybe. So lots of progress. Despite an election year and some challenges, we still managed to put an extra $500,000 in revenue. So that was a win. Jace, and I mean, I think there's probably more people involved than just Jace, but the rework tracker got implemented to help identify our opportunities. So that's that tool we review Mondays to kind of go over what you guys are putting in there to allow us to see, because we're reviewing that weekly to see like, oh, a part moved on the CNC, and now we have visibility to that. So before it was like, maybe Jackie's having problems with the edge bander and we don't know about it, and now we have visibility to it, so we can get a tech out, make adjustments. Maybe we need to do training, maybe we need a new machine. It allows us to see that. We had massive improvements on the way we schedule work. You know, Ryan was heavily involved in making spreadsheets to capacity plan and just dial in how much we can get done in each department. We built a lot of relationships with, I feel like we strengthened and built a lot of new relationships this year with designers and contractors, some of which we met out at KBiz that are now doing work with us. So sometimes it takes a while, but that definitely did pay off. And by the way, this picture is Peterson Construction to Style Kitchen. Loring, right? That's, yep. And then we actually sponsored Construction to Style's Contractor Coalition event, specifically the Curious Builder podcast. Then got to meet Mark, and we're in conversations on the side with him about cabinetry. We implemented a set of stock paint and stain colors, the color binders, with a system for custom colors to streamline the color selection process for our clients. And I gotta imagine you guys, right? Making life easier and finish and simplify. We also added that showroom display. So we got the frameless section of cabinetry. We got the build a cabinet workshop. I always think build a bear, but yeah, we can pop off a door and put a different door from the rack that Ted made. So just clip on a door. Like, people are so visual, so I think, at least for me, the clients have been really liking be able to take off the crown, put on a new crown. It's kind of fun. We built some cabinetry for Anthony Edwards. That was cool. And that's a picture of his game room. So just for frame of reference, these little bars are, what are they?
Like
Chrome plated brass from
Palmer Industries.
Palmer, which is in New York, Manhattan, something like that. They're like, what were they, $20,000 for just those, just the brass rods. So just kind of got to work with some new stuff and do some cool stuff, so that was fun. We welcome Brennan and his team to the Sean's Cabinetry team. So yeah. We did a project for Amic, Nahashan, and that got entered in their parade of home, or that was in the parade of homes, and then it got entered into a contest, and they actually won an award on the project. So that was pretty cool. Several dozen more Kanbans created to keep things stocked. We did a major purge in the hardware room. We used to have them center shelves. Dialed that all in. We got QuickBooks Online implemented. Wasn't that fun this time last year? And we got one full year in with an oven and a makeup air unit. Damien, how's that been?
It's been amazing.
Yeah? Or should we take it out, or
Only if you want to go back to the
you want to keep it?
We have less or more dust to fight? Less or more?
Oh, less dust, and everything dries 10 times faster.
Good deal. All right. We're crafting with our core values of communication, that's open and honest, results with a can-do attitude, adaptability, focus, and sincere dedication, and teamwork. I think we had a lot of good examples this year of hitting on all of those, so just keep driving on those and we'll win. Core focus, to positively impact people's lives, and we do this through our niche of innovative frameless cabinetry. Kind of a reminder of our big BHAG, you know, the 2030 target is $20 million. And by the way, if you're wondering about the photo, I used ChatGPT to create a photo. And so it's, if you look at it, they're definitely not perfect, but I actually thought that was kind of cool because I'm like, I want to see next year how far it progresses. So I'm like, a few words generated that photo, but you can see there's some weird stuff going on in it. But anyways, target's 20 million, which is like 30,534 units a year, and be on the FDMC 300 list. So that is a woodworking magazine that is, I think they do a monthly publish or subscription or whatever. I don't know if you guys subscribe or have seen that at all, but they kind of track industry events and stats. And Brendan, have you seen that, the FDMC magazine?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. In that magazine, they've got a list of 300 companies, and they basically put, you've got to be doing at least 15 million nowadays to even make the list. So that's the goal. I always thought it'd be cool to be on that list. Marketing strategy. So our target market is residential contractors and designers. We're also going after homeowners if their income's $150,000 or more a year, and the home values on the new side, specifically home values of $700,000 to $5 million, seem to be the best fit. Our geography of that is typically within a 4-hour radius of the metro, and these clients value communication, planning, quality relationships, and they have an abundance mindset, so they're not worried about the cost so much as they want the relationship and the quality product. Our 3 uniques, we set a date, we stick to it, thanks to Ryan and Jeff and the whole team. Building long-lasting relationships and thorough communication with proactive, honest project planning. Our proven process is our process doc, and we have a guarantee coming soon. We do guarantee that the estimate we give you is the price we'll do the work for, and we won't come back and charge more later on for what we quoted, even if it takes us more time. So dialing it into the 3-year picture, our goal is to be at 10 million. The future date would be 12/31/27. Measurables would be 15,254 units. And our best guess of what that's going to look like today, as with what we know now, is that we'll probably have 2 drafters, somewhere around 7 project managers, 5 finishers, 1 inspector, 3 assemblers, 4 field ops people, 2 sales development reps, CSR, 1 person in the office, or I guess it doesn't have to be in the office, but 1 person doing marketing, pushing that full time, person purchasing full time, a person in receiving. We'd have a additional shop foreman, or actually filling that role out by then. Hopefully we've got some software, some ERP software in place to help automate scheduling and allow the data to kind of connect through. So when we do an estimate and we fill out the customer name, it populates on all of the systems, so we don't have to retype it in multiple times. Automated customer communication really coming through that ERP system. 45 units a day, a second CNC. Jeff's ambitious goal of 2 robotic sanders, which By the way, I don't know, have you guys seen these robotic sanders? So essentially, they don't replace the worker. They work alongside of the worker and help you be more productive. So it really is a one-piece flow setup where you're putting, it does not get into the little detail grooves of the door, but it sands all the flats, it sands the edges, it can break edges, but it still takes human hands to, get the details. So it's really to make a person be able to do, if you can do, I don't know, 5 doors an hour, it allows you to go to 10 doors an hour with one person. So, then we got somehow expanding the office space and showroom. What's that?
Go upstairs.
Yeah, on the roof.
Yeah.
Put some skylights in. And then getting some more air compressor capacity, putting in a hang line, probably a Guffey system. We really want to, we see some opportunity for getting online with like all things kitchen, cookbooks, the things, pots, pans, things like that, where if we're doing marketing, and drawing, people are following us on Instagram, say they can go, we can link a pot set or a spice jar set, like just doing more with that, cutting boards, things like that. 2 trailers, 2 company vehicles, and hopefully we're growing the shelving division to $1.5 million by taking on some distributors or some online partnerships, things like that. So our 1-year plan down to 2025. So our revenue goal this year is to go to 5 million. And so I created a little infograph of, what our goals are, but essentially we need an average PA, weekly PA amount of 82,700. If you do the math on that, that equates to 4.3 million in project agreements. The reason for that is because we're assuming 700 grand of that is going to come from the shelves. So the goals for the weekly PA is based on cabinetry sign-offs, cabinetry and countertop sign-offs. We'd like to try to get in and get a contract signed with Dura. We want to establish a budget and get data flowing into the P&L with classes. So that's kind of the reason we're having you guys clock into class, just so the back-end finance stuff stays organized. And then our goal is to get a marketing dashboard created and drive 16 prospects a week to meet those revenue goals. Any questions? I love it. I knew you guys would have questions. There's got to be one. Zach, what's a question?
It's an interrogatory statement that is desired to gain more information. You've asked a question, I'm answering.
Exactly. At least you gave the definition.
Can I look that up to see if
Yeah, somebody fact check him.
Well, they put the fact checkers on Facebook, so nobody's gonna do it anymore.
All right, so then we're gonna bring it into our next 90 days here. Q1 rocks. So future date is 3/25 of this year. Our Q1 goal here is to get 778,000 in revenue. So that's work out the door, right, Jeff? So our PAs, just from a sales team, we need to be pushing for more on that so that we can we can actually produce that 800 grand of work. We're also Jace is working on creating a budget and getting that approved by the 24th, so a couple weeks. We're gonna determine marketing KPIs and get that dashboard established. And the biggest one, our number one priority really, is the pipeline's full and we have a 4-week lead time. So we get back to putting some work on the calendar so we're not starving or having to race to order doors and just build a little buffer again. And then Jeff's gonna be working on some face frame assembly research and development and exploring what that could look like. Question on Q1 rocks? All right. So this is an issues list, essentially on our VTO, which is this vision traction organizer. We identify that there's always going to be a running list of problems that we need to solve. And so when we do our planning sessions, we're really looking at like all the issues and prioritizing. And so this is more or less a list to let all of you know that we know that there's problems, right? And opportunities to solve these things. And they will get solved, but now isn't the right time. So on that issues list is one thing, trust builders, Trello cards, VR, sales and marketing seat, core value, reviews and rewards, finished measurables, process followed by all, knowing/don't know, closets, the Amazon store, internet down, inventory sheet, the IRA, easier sales process, server down, my time, new CNC phone system, loyalty and affiliate program, market shifts and data backup.
What is one thing?
It's one thing.
One thing?
Keep maintaining one thing.
Jeff, I was wondering the same thing. Do you recall?
The first thing. This is why when you do your IES, tends to be very descriptive, especially if you've got a long laundry list of stuff.
Well, one of the things we learned this year is that when we're setting our rocks, it feels like it's clear as day because you're in the weeds in the moment setting that rock. And then when you get to the end of the year, you're like, what did we mean by that exactly? What was the intent behind that? So yeah, as we move into our next step, which is gonna be our planning, for Q1 by kind of department, we just gotta be diligent that we're setting and remembering what the intention was. And we even said we could jot down a little paragraph on kind of what the intention was behind it, why we were thinking. It's almost like capturing your state of mind when you're setting your goal, right? And there's us at the end of 2025 celebrating our goals achieved.
AI of all of us in there, and I was like, when did you
Just took a picture of that, yeah. Maybe next year we can have that dialed in, huh?
In a new warehouse? Let's go.
Yeah, that's our shop. That's our shop.
That's some tall cabinets over there.
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys got? Anything? You excited?
Sean's Cabinetry?
Looks good.
Cool. Well, if anyone's got questions or needs clarity, you know where to find me. Door's open, so
Still trying to get clarity on that one thing.
just delete that out of your mind.
Maybe the next 6 months.
I think it pertained to focusing on one thing, but
I have a question.
yeah,
Do you see yourself in 3 years doing $20 million?
nope. 2030.
2030,
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Nope.
In
Good
3
question.
years, 3 years, you were basically tripling what you're doing now.
That's the goal.
Yes. Do you see that in this building?
We should be able to, with efficiencies, get 8 to 10 million out of this building.
Okay.
With one shift. Not including what you guys are potentially producing as revenue over there, which definitely helps boost that revenue for what we're trying to do. It's hard to know what's out there 3 years away.
Well, it is. I just look around at space and it seems
The tough part about this space is that
It's chopped up.
yeah, and it makes it hard to create flow, but when we are operating, Jackie and Jared and Morgan and Sandy team can probably test me and Damien, when we've got systemic flow, Ryan scheduling, it's flowing perfectly as long as everything's falling in line. And that's what we designed it to do, is to be as efficient as we can. And so you just continue to find efficiencies. And the big thing about manufacturing is when you start to find efficiencies, you actually produce more than you think that you can, typically speaking, as long as you can maintain that simplicity of the production line. So it's doable. You guys do it all the time. The thing that you guys have Brennan created over there is very simplistic, but it's very efficient.
In the space that you're doing it for those shows.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, take that into consideration. You're doing $700,000, and you probably can do twice that with, or more with three of you. Depending on the efficiencies are put in place. The hard part is you can't balance it. You can't level load it.
That's the hard part.
And that's where when Sean talks about trying to find outsource mechanisms that you can put in place that maybe you have 4 to 6 week lead time, and Ryan's helping plug that into that systemically, so you're balancing that load out, and then you guys have consistency. You're going to be more efficient and more effective.
I think it was my second year here, we did like 1.2 or something like that, me and Sean were talking. And like, me and him both agree, like, gosh, I don't know if we can do 2.5, 3 million out of this building, we're gonna have to move to another building. You know, this year we hit 3 million, and we still have tons of room to grow yet.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Good, that's a
So-
good answer. Just, I'm kind of looking at it from the outside,
Sure.
Yeah.
so I look at it as a really chopped up space where it's hard to just get it to flow, but obviously you've done that.
Well, we're waiting for Jim to die, so we can get all.
Hey Ted, this is live.
Not die, retire.
Yeah, Jim's retired.
No, Jim's a nice
No,
guy.
that stuff won't be.
Yeah, we can make a call, we can maybe, you know.
I know a guy in Chicago.
So yeah, to Damien's point though, and it was probably a lot less than that when you started. Maybe
Well, it was my second year, I think we did like 1 or 1.2.
that could be, yeah.
But,
Yeah, but every time I've thought, oh, we're bumping up on capacity, it seems to keep figuring out ways to do more. I talked to a guy in Utah that has 16 employees, and he's doing like $3.5 million worth of cabinets out of a 1,200 square foot shop.
Holy
So,
moly.
Yeah,
And how many square feet do we have in here usable?
we got 8,000 here.
Yeah.
So those people better like each other.
Yeah, no, I was like, come again? No, but it's just it's crazy how when you practice lean and you know, follow and think through efficiencies and dial it in, you can really scale it. So, keep in mind, I think the ratio is probably like 80, you know, back off the floating shelf piece.
Yes.
And then that brings you down to probably 8.5 million, and then you back off countertops and install, and then your cabinet revenue is really what, 6, 7, something like that, 6.5, 7. So we're talking
basically,
about like
Doubling what you're
a
doing.
little more than a double out of here, because cabinet revenue is about 2.6 this year.
Okay,
So maybe close to a triple.
okay.
So
And we only had a couple of months this year where we were full boat
right.
production.
Give you some perspective. What were the numbers in September? I think we were at
250-ish.
250 just in cabinet revenue. It was like 360, 350, 360
Yeah.
total in 1 month. And
That's amazing.
that was our most efficient month. That's when that eased through.
That was actually when the shop looked the best too,
Yeah.
because everything was flowing how it should, rather than kind of chopped up, waiting on doors, waiting on drawers, waiting on something, or like that was actually, if you walked through the shop in September, everything was where it was supposed to be. It was awesome, and you would have thought that would have been our worst month. So it's out
Yeah.
there, but it's the exact opposite.
yeah, it's like even at the 250, it doesn't feel like you're killing yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
No, just-
I don't think we had hardly any overtime either. I think we only had one weekend, or one Friday in September that we worked. if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong.
And that's why, you know, that's why it's so important that you guys are so important at every aspect of what goes on. Because when we're paying attention and we're doing our job successfully, that helps with that flow and that helps with that value. And the more value the business can add, you know, the more KPIs, the more rewarding can go on, you know, making sure that we're, you know, building a business that's healthy and can do that. And, you know, even when we talk about, we're not perfect. You know, the system has so much room to be improved upon in the way that we do things. So there's so much opportunity to make it even better and be more successful. And that's the goal.
We gotta figure out what it takes.
Yeah, we haven't pushed it hard enough to break. And really, the beast that was built this year in the shop with what you guys put together, there was months where we experienced a huge sucking sound in the sales side, trying to get stuff written up and get it in.
Get it in.
And so going through 3 other potential PMs to finally get Brennan, and it's like, oh, thank you God, because we had the pull, but we couldn't push enough on our end. And so there was a couple of months where we're looking around going, okay, we need more sales, you know. And so that's where if we can push it on the front end, and we know the shop can handle it. And so Sean I talked a couple years ago, if we had 5 PMs and the shop was overworked, we just extend your sale delivery time. And so that's where that cushion is available there. But yeah, there's a lot of room for improvement on marketing, a lot of room on sales, and the shop can definitely handle it, so.
Good answer. I mean, the way you answered that makes me feel good.
Good.
It wasn't like a tap dance from either one of you. It was straightforward, you have a plan. I like that.
Yeah. We have a plan to the best of our known ability, and
Well,
some of it's aspirational, but you
having
gotta
a
have a goal,
plan.
right?
Having a plan
Yeah.
is huge.
Yep.
You
And
know.
that's what, you know, again, in retrospect, looking back at this year, there were 2 major things that we didn't anticipate or couldn't anticipate, which is that people stopped knocking on the door post-COVID after 2 or 3 years of that consistently,
Mhm.
and the fact that we had to be marketing to self-generate. And those are huge aspects that if you don't have built in place, you can't just flip a light switch on and have
It doesn't happen today.
No.
So that's why if you look at our goals, our primary focus, and what Sean pointed out is number 3, is fill a pipeline. Make sure that that's what we're focusing on through sales and marketing. And so that we actually have that momentum to continue to grow it successfully. And big picture, because not all of you have been here through the course of, you know, the beginning of Sean's path, but also even just within the last 5 years. You know, the way that operations have shifted and changed, and Damien's seen this, and Jason's here, he could attest to it, that we built this business from the shop out, and so the office is still in the process of being built out. And unfortunately, it's those circumstances where you find yourself in that you're not anticipating marketing being a thing that you need, or having to self-generate sales, or focusing on that. And so that's helping us build that system and that pipeline as well. Which when you're an owner operating business, is typically not how you build it out. You build it from an office into the shop, or from delivery into the shop. It's usually from the shop out. So just kind of some background history on how that looks when you're building a business.
Because those first 2 years, it was always you to keep up with people calling and asking for work. And so now it's like, oh, they're not asking as much, so we need to do a little more chasing. Well, we didn't figure that out till this year. Before, I'm just trying to keep up, keep your head above water, without that. It's great.
Yes.
And that's usually every election year anyway.
Oh, yeah.
It's always paid off. I've had that for 20 years. Every election year it fades off, and the next year it goes up again. You're like, oh crap, catch up.
I just wanted to show. I'll link it another day, but I was trying to find our, I took a video tour in 2019 of the shop, so it's gonna show you guys that, but I think cause I'm
Put in
not.
2019 behind your tour.
Huh?
Behind tours, put in 2019.
Yeah. Yeah, this place has changed ridiculously in the 3 years I've been here. Almost don't recognize
I
it.
think, I don't know.
Cause 6 years ago, it was probably pretty.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it would show up better if I was signed into my
It would.
thing on here, but I'll link it.
Just send it to my email, I'll put it in our morning meeting.
Yeah. Kind of fun to see progress.
Gives me fun, I guess.
One of the things I'm thinking I'm gonna do this year is just go around and make a quick video of the shop, and then next year we can see what changed over the year.
I think I've got a couple videos from the past 4 years.
Okay. It'll be fun.
It's all too. You should link them,
Sean's commercial, yeah, I'll do that. There's a commercial for a young teenage kid talking about building stuff, and it's really fun. So, this guy.
It's fun for everyone, yeah.
Yeah.
No, really great question, John, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's, helpful to have the mechanics sometimes, right?
Yep.
Anything else? I think Jeff hit the nail on the head with the unexpecteds, and I think one of the things that as a sales team we're gonna be pushing on this year is, if the goal is 5 million, the goal in our minds is 50 million, because if we go at it with 10 times the effort, then if we miss the target, we'll land on 5 million, you know? And sometimes that, you know, you think you got 3 sales that are gonna land, and 1 drops off, and now you missed your target by 1/3, so just overcompensating, kinda, because you don't know what the market's gonna throw your way, you don't know,
Found it.
you know, what,
I found it.
did you?
Yep.
What's the, you wanna put it on, give me the address? Back to you.
Yeah, what's the best way to do that?
Go to YouTube.
Send it to the shop email.
Yeah.
Go to the shop email, Sean.
Is the volume turned down?
Come on, Damien, go faster! Come on, Damien!
Waiting!
Everybody's waiting for you. Go on.
Sean, make sure the TV's
No
turned
pressure,
on.
though.
Supposed to be in the city at 8:30 today.
Actually, how do I do that?
Side button.
Right side,
There, refresh it.
side.
Drop some off
Hey, there it is, Damien, farts.
There we go. There's a tour.
That's back and finish right now.
That's,
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is where finish is now.
Yeah.
that was the CNC back there. Is that where the?
Turn it all the way up, crank it up.
I don't know. It don't got any sound.
Sorry, read the captions. Yeah, there's a video.
Oh wait, it's gotta have sound. It's
Turn the volume up on the computer.
it's good there. Where's the?
There it is.
You gotta have
All
shut
the
the
way
sound
up.
down.
try, yeah, there you go.
Listen, get loud as shit.
Mm.
No, crank it up, we can always.
Crank it up, then we can hear it. Start it over.
You got some deaf people. They exited out of
Raw materials come in through that door. We got our materials, and then we CNC cut everything right there. And then we edge band right here. It's pretty close. And that back there is our sliding table saw. We use carts like this for our panels. And then, once things are edge banded, they get loaded on these carts and wheeled all the way back here to right now, this table over here,
We did, we just cut it open.
and assembly starts. What we're thinking we'll do is move this table into our new space, and so that the product can flow down the shop this way. into the spray booth, which is over here. This is our face frame. When we got to make wood frames, we use that saw, cut-off saw, frame table, planer, and table saw. And that's our raw solid wood storage. This is our prep sanding. They do that at that table. Right now they're doing some historical windows. We use these type of racks so we don't have to carry one by one the doors. We can wheel the whole rack of doors in and out of the booth. So this is where Jace does all the finishing back here. And he's got this area back here, that's the ship door. But it's also his area where he stores product, final coated product. So when we have all our cabinets on wheels, and he rolls them back into there, and that's sort of a area where no dust gets into the finish on our final coats. So this space Jace uses as he's sort of in the finish process with the whole kitchen. All these carts get full, and he wheels them in and out of the booth. This is our showroom, my office.
Oh, it always changed, there's all that changed.
Customers come in this door.
The shop's in.
Used to be really clean.
180 reorientation.
In your office, bud.
It used to be really.
That's insane.
So hopefully this video kind of gives you an idea. I know it's not perfect, but kind of gives you an idea of some of the opportunity we have to work with, the additional space that we've gotten. And as you can see, it's a long ways from our CNC to our assembly bench, but we hope to minimize the amount of trips one has to make. That being said, anything you see that stands out, that looks like maybe we move something here or there, or whatever you think. This is our, one last thing I guess, this is our area where we order our doors, so when we get them, we got these carts over here that we put raw doors on. See, we got a shipment there. And then when the worker is told to sand them, or that job comes up, they bring them over to this area to fill, drill the hinge holes, and then sand, and then place on the rack. And once it's placed on the rack, it goes into finish, which is over there. So there you have it.
Talk about zigzagging, geez.
Well, what we identified is we needed to spend, what, 20, 30 grand and move all the equipment that we had just moved over there
Yeah.
to over there. Because that was the only way it was gonna make sense. So, yeah, I think literally a month or so, maybe 2 months after we got the CNCs and all that set up,
Yeah.
he was running a vet, had the vet clinic there, and he's like, I bought the place across the street, you want the space? I was like, yes. Dang it.
It's too bad you didn't tell us 3 months ago.
Right? So, fun stuff. But it kind of shows how much things have changed and how much more efficient you can give.
He wants to do business Saturday.
I texted him and,
All right. Any other questions, thoughts?
Cabinetry?
Have you got?
Sean's Cabinetry 2025.